J.K. Raman and Mrs. Raman, please come and bless us on the stage. Okay, thank you.
I just wanted to thank most profusely Mr. Shibu Divagaran, our scholarship chairman, putting it together. And all the going through the history and talking to people and making a big difference. Give a round of applause to Mr. Shibu Divagaran, please. Dr. J.K. Raman, are you here? Yes, okay. He was the strongest supporter, and he's also helping us on the orphanage project. And we really appreciate you, sir. Thank you so much. And for the scholarship, how you can sponsor and how much you have to do. There is a small process, and also he's going to, the scholarship chairman is going to explain the process, and it is an opportunity.
David, can we turn the spots down a little bit? I can't really see anybody here. No.
Down.
Yeah. Or turn the house up a little bit. Maybe? Anyway, is everyone having a good time? Good. Thank you, Dallas, for being such great hosts. Anyway, tonight, we have a stand-up comedian here all the way from Los Angeles, California. He performs weekly at the Laugh Factory in Hollywood. He's toured with Russell Peters, Dave Chappelle, and Tim Allen. He did a 7-city tour of India, sponsored by the U.S. State Department. He's even won an award for Breakout International Comedian in our very own Kochi. He's even been featured on NBC, Nickelodeon, and NPR. You can look him up on funnyindian.com. He made a video that went viral. I am Indian. Please welcome Rajiv Satyam.
Hello guys, the coolest Deshi, Mr. Rajiv Satyam.
East Indian. There are 1.3 billion of us. We don't need a cardinal direction, okay? It's not our fault that Christopher Columbus got lost. Sure, we love our states, but there's strength in numbers. 1 out of every 6 human beings is Indian, so stop dividing us. The British already did that once. And we need to quit saying that we're not Indian because I wasn't born here, or sound like this, or eat that. Our hearts are Indian. We're feelers. We gave the world the romance of Bollywood films, and the music of Ravi Shankar, and Zubin Mehta, and Lata Mangeshkar, and Asha Bhosle, and the allure of the Kama Sutra. We are
an amazing audience already. It is an honor to be here at KHNA, and thank you so much for joining me tonight during this comedy hour we have. Round of applause if you've been to KHNA before. And round of applause if this is your very first one. Okay, so we got a pretty good mix. That sounds pretty good. Who came from the farthest away? New York? All right. Who's here from New York City? And New York State, just New York in general. All right. Anyone farther than New York? Canada! All right, Canada. Where in Canada? Did you laugh as if like it's all one place? Like there's no cities in Canada, it's just Canada. That's all there is to it. From Toronto? Toronto? Vancouver? Okay, let's make fun of Vancouver. All right, that sounds good. Toronto. Okay, anyone farther than Canada? California, okay. That's not farther than Canada, but apparently you went to U.S. public school, so that is great. Clearly, it is definitely not farther than Canada, I can tell you that, but that's okay. India? Really? Or did you come here from India?
Oh, you're pointing each other out? Okay. Like in the INS? Okay, that's nice. Okay, that's wonderful. Great. I'm glad you guys are laughing already. These are just jokes. Everybody relax. It's totally good. We're going to keep it clean mostly. It's like PG-13, so keep it pretty clean. We're going to keep it, as Indians like to say, vegetarian. Okay? Because at these conventions, I always have uncles and aunties say, Beta, you have to keep it veg. Okay? Keep veg jokes. No non-veg jokes. No non-veg, just veg, okay? So that's a big thing for me because I perform at a lot of weddings, and I performed at a wedding recently, and it was hilarious because I did all clean material, and you could tell some of the uncles were a little disappointed, you know, right? Uncle, you feel me on this, right? Because they're like, we know you have to keep it clean for wedding, but you can do some, come up to our suite, and we'll pay you, and you come do some non-veg jokes. And that's exactly what they did. They were like, well, how much will it cost? And they're already negotiating with me. I know they're Indian for sure, right? And so I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, I don't know. Just everybody give me, I don't know, like $20. I'll come up there. So I go up to the suite, and it's all uncles, and of course they're drinking Johnny White, Johnny Black rather. Johnny White. There's no Johnny White that I know of, but Johnny Black. And after the end of the set, after I finish doing all these really dirty jokes that I will not do now, they all try to like hand me $20 bills. And I'm like, I'm not a stripper. Don't put it in my belt. You guys should take up a collection. Okay, you guys are a good audience. I want to see how that went, and now we can know how the rest of the set's going to go. So, is anyone here actually from the Midwest? Yeah? Whereabouts? Chicago. The capital of the Midwest. All right, very nice. I'm going to Chicago next week. I like how the lights are totally schizophrenic, by the way. Like, we cannot figure out, like, do we want it dark or light, or do we want it, like, Punjabi or Tamil Nadu, like how do we want it really? So that's the question. So it's fine. Actually, you can leave it right there. That's pretty good, I think, for now. Good. Yeah. PK. Okay. PK. Okay. Can I say PK? Do we speak Hindi? Probably not much, right? So no. Yeah. 30. Okay, okay, good. See, what's great about performing in a South Indian function is I can pretend like I know Hindi. This is great, because you won't know the difference. So it's awesome. I can actually pretend like I'm connected to my heritage, which is awesome. As you guys probably guessed, I'm originally from Ohio. You probably did not guess that at all. Like, no one guessed that I'm from Ohio. I was born and raised in Ohio. I spent a lot of my life there. And that's why I speak like this. That's why I have this kind of white voice. Because, they would call people like us almonds. Because we're brown on the outside and we're white on the inside. Right? So they call us almonds. And it wasn't racist really. It was really just we all got along. We were a bunch of foods, Like Asians could be Twinkies or bananas. You know what I mean? Black people could be Oreos. So we really just got along really well. You were black on the outside, white on the inside, yellow on the outside. Everybody got along really well. And they called us almonds, which is fine. But I felt like they should call us coconuts. Because we're hairy. I think that would make a lot more sense. They should call us coconuts, not almonds. Because Indians are very hairy people, right? I mean, the men too. And, forget you, that's hilarious, okay? I don't care where you're from. That's funny right there. That's funny. No, but being from Ohio, every now and then I'd hear, hey, go back to India. So I did, and I did a tour. And we did a tour actually called Make Chai Not War. And we toured mostly the south of India, actually. I've now been to all 5 southern states and performed in all of these states. And this tour was called Make Chai Not War. Okay, so, and I gotta say that slowly, Make Chai Not War, because we were on TV in India, and when I say it fast, Make Chai Not War, they thought I was saying Make China War. And that would be a whole disaster that we don't want to happen in Hindi bye-bye. We don't want that to happen, so I've got to be very careful. I got to make sure I enunciate when I say Make Chai Not War. So the reason I bring up this tour is because this is a while ago. It's like 3 years ago. And I got back from India a couple months ago. The reason I bring this up is because Senator Rand Paul keeps bringing up this tour in his attack lines against Hillary Clinton. Because the reason for this tour, it was sponsored by the State Department. The government spent $100,000 on sending 3 comedians to India, which I know sounds like the beginning of a joke. But that is exactly what happened. And I thought that Rand Paul would be a fan of it, because it's Make China War. He's a member of the Tea Party. But that did not really work out for us at all, okay? He still was not a big fan at all. So what happened was, I'm Hindu. I know we have Hindus here tonight, right? This is a Hindu convention. All right, absolutely. Hindus, put up 4 of your arms. Okay, great. It's awesome. I'm fellow Hindu, Hindu Punjabi myself. So I'm Hindu, and one of my really good friends, Azhar, is Muslim. And so he and I wanted to, start something to ease the tension in the world between Muslims and Hindus. And, you saw how well that worked. That really didn't do anything. But we did our part. The other 7 billion people, you guys need to work a little harder. But we did what we could do. And so Azhar and I agree on everything except the final destination of our souls. But we started this tour, and he's the biggest Muslim comedian in the world. He's a big brown man with a big black beard. And he kind of looks like Santa Claus, after he slides down the chimney. Okay, so Azhar and I started this tour, and we go over there, and what was crazy is most of the states were really cool. Kerala, Tamil Nadu, all these states were really cool. Andhra, they were all really nice. Maharashtra is where we ran into problems. Because they said they needed a copy of our script. And we're like, well, we don't have a script really. We just, we perform, we do our thing. It's not a play or a musical or anything like that. And they're like, well, we need a copy. And we're like, well, we were really busy, because it was December, it was Christmas time, and I'm Hindu and he's Muslim. I have no idea why we were busy actually during Christmas now that I think about it. We were not celebrating Christmas, but we were busy anyway, right? They're like, and we said, well, what you can do, you can go on YouTube, and you can look at our videos, and you can write down the words from the videos. There's your script. Honestly, I think they had passports. They didn't even have a stamp or a stand. I think they were Uber drivers who couldn't find a ride. Okay, honestly, I really don't think they worked there. Don't tell me you don't have the people. That's total insanity. So we were over there for a couple of weeks, and going to the bathroom in India is definitely an experience. Okay, we'll just say it's an experience, all right? I'm not going to say it's good or bad. It just is what it is. So we're at this Chinese restaurant. I really needed to go to the bathroom. And so I went, to the door of the facilities. Sorry, Canadians, the washroom. Okay, let me put it in terms you'll understand, okay? Which really makes sense, actually, because you wash in there. You don't take a bath in there, right? A restroom, I'm not resting. I don't go in there right? So washroom is probably more accurate, actually. So on the door of the bathroom, it read, man. And it was a Chinese restaurant. Of course, Chinese and Indian people love to make fun of each other all the time, right? Right now, I promise there's a Chinese convention and a Chinese comedian about to make fun of Indians. So I'm just going to even it out right now, right? So we're doing this, and I go to the bathroom, and it says, man. And I'm laughing. I'm like, oh, the Chinese in India, they don't know English very well. They put man instead of men. And then I open up the door, and there's only one toilet. I'm like, they're right, the Chinese, man. They're always right. They're right, it's man, not men. There's only one toilet. That was so ridiculous. Now, the other time I went to the bathroom, I only went twice in 2 weeks, just so you know. So I really held it in, I'm telling you. So we were on our way. We're actually going from Calcutta to Durgapur, this is a map of India, by the way. I don't know if you knew, people from Michigan love to give you the hand. This is a map of India. So next time people from Michigan give you that, you can give them this, okay? So we were going from here to here, going from Calcutta to Durgapur, and I had to go to the bathroom. So we pulled over to the side of the road. We saw a line of stores and restaurants. And I'm like, oh, this will be, I think we'll find a good bathroom here. I don't know why I was thinking that. And we get out and we go in, and I see a door for the bathroom, and it just reads, gents. And I get all excited. Oh, it says gents. I'm like, oh, gentlemen, this would be really nice. This is going to be a beautiful bathroom, So I open up the door, and it takes me right back outside. There's a hole in the ground. And never did I feel more like a gentleman in my life. Standing there, whizzing as cars are whizzing by. At least they should give you a top hat or something you could wear. Then you could really feel like a gentleman. That might actually be a little bit better. People in India generally, especially in the South I find, are very nice. Okay, I'm not just saying that because I'm out of South India. I feel like that's true. People are very nice. They love to stare at you though. There's a lot of staring over there. It's always right? It's so odd. But if you wave at them, it breaks they're like, oh, and they look away. Like, they don't want you to, like, break their gaze. Well, their gaze, that's a whole different issue. But they don't want to break the G-A-Z-E. That's the big thing that they don't want you to break. They're nice though. The way they talk to you is different. Like here, people will see me, and even actually at the social hour, like people are like, "Oh, I saw your YouTube videos." That's a big thing. They're like, "Oh, I saw your YouTube videos." In India, it's different. They say, "Oh, I saw your YouTubes." I saw your YouTubes, yaar. I love your YouTubes. I love your YouTubes. I love your YouTubes. Yaar, I love your YouTubes. I love your YouTubes. It sounds very personal. Like, you know, like you've seen my tubes. I don't have any tubes. I'm a man, okay? That I know. I don't have any fallopian tubes or anything like that. I'm very aware. I remember that from pre-med at least, okay? So, now I was pre-med, of course, for a couple of years. And, because, you know, obviously, right? When you're Indian and you have to go to college, like all the other bubbles are just grayed out. You know, it's just like you at least have to start pre-med. And I was pre-med for a couple of years. Now I'm post-med. I just skipped the med part, okay? That's where the work is. You don't want to do that. Just get the post-med. It's a lot easier. Because what's weird about this job in particular, being a comedian, it's strange. Because people can see you do the job as you do it. That's weird as a job. Right? Because I only get one shot, one opportunity. I'm like Eminem. I only get one shot, one opportunity to get up here and do it. Like I can't like have them play the video again and start all over. Like, no, this is the show. We're here. This is it. You can see me do the job as I do it. That's strange. All my other friends, whatever their jobs are, I just have to assume they're good at their jobs. They tell me, like, "Oh, I'm this great lawyer." I'm like, "I guess you are. Nobody gets to see you do it." You know what I mean? Like, I don't get to see. Do we have any doctors here, for example? Yes. Do you have any doctors? Oh, come on, it's an Indian convention. Don't tell me we don't have any doctors. Let me find one here. Who's a brave doctor here? Come on, you cut people open for a living. I can cut you open here. Like, what's that? Okay, so can you point one out for me, please? They'll beat you up. Dude, we're Hindus, we're peaceful. They can't beat you up. That would be completely against the doctrine. That would be no good. They cannot beat you up. No brave doctors. Oh, right here. Is it, take the lights up just slightly, please. Okay. Oh, and you moved the spotlight. Very nice. That was very, very good. It's, you realize it's a wave and a particle. I've been reading a lot about physics lately. Okay, sir. Okay, yes, thank you for being a brave. Round of applause for this man, by the way, for like volunteering. He's like, I'm not sure what I volunteered for, but so, sir, what kind of doctor are you? And anesthesiologist. Okay, so this is a great example. Like you're so insecure, you have to knock people out. Like no one will see you do your job. That's the perfect. I'm so glad that you owned that because that's the exact opposite of my job. Unless I'm really bad and I put people to sleep in the next 45 minutes, which could happen. Let's be honest, it could happen. Then that would be a very cheap form of anesthesiology. People just laugh until they fall asleep. It'd be another kind of laughing gas, so that'd be good. But I'm still not sure what doctors do. I'm confused because like, I feel like, do we have any nurses here? Yes, nurses? Oh, we have a lot of nurses? Okay, all right, we're taking those jobs away from the Filipinos. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, Kerala, obviously we have nurses. Of course we have nurses. Anyone, any brave nurses here? Come on, we had a doctor, match me with a nurse. Okay, you're a nurse? All right, registered nurse? Why are you registered? I don't understand this registry. It's like the only people registered in society are nurses and, well, sex offenders. But that's a whole different, that's a different game. I don't think it's the same registry. I really don't. You guys are an awesome audience, by the way. Okay, you guys are way better than North Indians. All right, I will say that. You guys are way open-minded. That's good. Okay, so nurse. So, no, I feel like nurses do like 90% of the doctor's job. Am I right? Yeah, basically, like 90% of the job is done, but then the doctor comes in to the room, right? After I'm in the waiting room, I'm in that little room sitting on that, like, deli meat paper or whatever that is. I'm, like, not sure what that is still. It's the same level of quality of that. So I'm sitting there, the doctor comes in, and this is my big moment. Like, I've been waiting to ask you a lot of questions and all that stuff. And then you're, like, there for, like, 2 minutes. and you keep leaving the room. Like, I've never been to a doctor's appointment where they don't keep leaving the room. Like, I don't know, what are they doing? Are you like looking up stuff on WebMD or like what's happening there? You're like, I don't know the answer. Hold on, wait. Like, go back and I'm just not sure why they keep leaving. And then they do all that, and then they prescribe medicine, right? And then a pharmacist gives me that. So you don't even do that part. Like the part that like helps me, yeah, they don't even do that. And then when you have to do surgery, the doctors who do surgery, they knock us out. We can't even see them do that. So, like, it's the complete opposite of this job. I should have been a doctor, because my parents wanted me to be a doctor for the longest time. And I'm a lot older than, well, I don't know how old you think I am, but I'm older than you think I am, probably. And so, in 1994-95, the Clintons got involved with the medical profession, right? And so then doctors were not making as much money as before. So then my parents were like, well, beta, maybe you should go into computers. And I'm like, well, I'm not South Indian, but I can try, you know. I'm not going to be as good as South Indians are, you know. Like, they have it in their blood. It's just like programmed, pun intended. And so it's like that. So I'm like, okay, fine, I'll go into computers. But then the dot-com bust happened in 2000. And then, you know, computer people were not making as much money as they were before. You feel me on this, right? Feel me? That's very good of me. Okay, so, and then they were like, beta, you should go into finance. And then in 2008, that whole thing fell apart. So then suddenly they're like, okay, being a comedian doesn't look so risky anymore. So they're like, just be a comedian, it's fine, you know, not a problem, it's fine, I'm working, it's good. Because I was tired of being compared to my friends. That was a big thing, right? They're like, oh, a lot of my friends, Indian friends, or a lot of your friends becoming doctors. Right, they become doctors, and like, beta, can you be more like Gaurav? He's an anesthesiologist. Be like Gaurav, you know? Be like a Lok. MD, PhD, you know, so many letters, you know, they're so, I think because of the spelling bee, they're just like really into letters, okay, they just want more and more letters. And so they're like, you know, be like that, but then I went into comedy. I was like, well, there's no Indians in comedy. Now my parents are like, why can you not be more like Aziz Ansari? So I can't escape it now, But the good thing about stand-up is it only gets so bad. It only, like, even if it's not that good, right, it's only so bad. Versus sketch comedy, which is horrendous, okay? Let me explain something to you. So sketch comedy is where you have like 5 or 6 people on the stage, and they all try to be as funny as one guy, and it never works, okay? Because I went to this show in LA, and this happens a lot. I live in Los Angeles now. I've been living in LA for almost 10 years. And anyone here from California? Quiet Californians, you guys are like meditating or something like that? Okay, you're very zen, okay? Well, you're definitely from California, very quiet, very nice. So, in LA, it's weird because everybody else wants you to come to their shows. It's very self-promotional. People are like, oh, you know, listen to my podcast, subscribe to my newsletter, come to my show, and that's just me. Alright, so then they'll come, I was like, come see me at the Laugh Factory, and somebody will come, and then they're like, oh, you should come see my band at the Rainbow Room. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to do that. I don't want it. That sounds awful. I have no interest in doing that. And they're like, no, but we came to see you at the Laugh Factory. I'm like, that's right. Our relationship right now is in equilibrium. Okay? You came to the show, you laughed, you left, we're in balance. We don't need to create this infinite feedback loop of factories and rainbows. Okay? It doesn't need to happen. So my friend is doing this sketch comedy show. And she's like, you gotta come, it's this benefit for leukemia and lymphoma. Well, it's against leukemia and lymphoma. Like, you know what I mean? That'd be really weird if it were for leukemia and lymphoma. No one would be in that benefit, because that would be really a terrible thing. So it was against leukemia and lymphoma. But the show was awful. Like, it was just not good at all. We're watching it, whatever. We had to pay admission to get into the show. We're getting angrier and angrier that it's not good. And then there was an intermission. And I figured what they should have done if they wanted to raise a lot of money is they should have let everybody in the show for free, and then shown us half of the show, locked the doors, and then asked us how much money we would pay to leave right now and not watch the rest of the show. They would have raised enough money to cure cancer, I'm telling you. They would have done it. It would have been solved. There would have been no problem at all. So, do we have any actors here? I doubt it, right? Probably, do we have anyone in entertainment? Any actors? Any aspiring actors? Yeah? Whereabouts? I heard somebody say yes. Now the spotlight's gonna come find you. It's okay, I'm not gonna pick on you too much. No? Okay, the actor disappeared. Okay, that's fine then. Maybe you want to be a magician. That was a better move. So, But in LA, there's a ton of actors in the shows all the time. It happens all the time. And you always have to ask them, you know, what restaurants you work at. And that's usually what happens. If you've been to California and you've been like at a restaurant, a lot of the waiters are actors. And they're working on like a character or an accent or something like that. And it's crazy. And I want to be like, you know, why don't you act like a waiter and bring us our food? Because that role is open right now. You can book that right now. It can happen, you know? But I think what they need to do, they need to combine the role of actor, of like casting director and Trader Joe's sampler. Okay? Because they're the same job, really. Alright? Because all of us do this. If you go to Trader Joe's or Costco, how many of the Indians here go to Costco? I'm sure a lot go to Costco, right? Dude, Costco is like clubbing for Indians, honestly. We love to go to Costco, especially like on a Saturday or Sunday. I don't know, Costco right now here is closed down because we're all here, okay? Seriously. We love to go to Costco. Only thing I don't like about Costco is they check your receipt on the way out. I hate that. To like make sure you haven't stolen anything, which is so annoying because like the portions at Costco are so big. What are you going to steal out of Costco? Right? What are you going to boost like an 8-pound jar of thal mode on your jacket? You can't steal anything out of Costco. It's crazy. But the great thing at Costco is you can eat your lunch from those samples. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about. Indians love to do this. Love to go to Costco. You can eat like 8 or 9 of those things and you're full, right? It's your whole lunch. It's so true, man. It's just the way it is. And that's the best acting you can do. I'm telling you. If you want to be an actor, if you want to see if you're going to be good at that profession, all you have to do is see how well you are at juking that person out, pretending you're going to buy it. Because that's exactly what you can do. We all do that. We eat like 8 of those things, and then we have to act like we're going to buy it. We're like, I'm gluten-free, I can't. And then you like leave, right? And you gotta pull something. If you can juke that guy out, I feel like you'll book the role. You'll be good, man. I'm telling you, you're straight. So, I've been performing. Luckily, I've been to the Middle East 3 times in the last 9 months. I don't know if anybody usually says luckily with that, but I luckily went to the Middle East. And performed over there, and it's great. People are really nice, really welcoming, and whatever else. I went to Kuwait. And they love Americans in Kuwait. They love Americans because they're still in Kuwait. You know what I mean? That's because of us. Otherwise, they'd be Iraqis. So that's why, you know, especially today. Happy birthday, America, by the way. 4th of July. Absolutely greatest social experiment that was ever invented on the planet. So it's great that we're still here after 200 plus years. Pretty awesome. And so, but no, the Kuwaitis love us. And so we land at the Kuwaiti airport. You don't even need a visa. They just sign it to you. You go on in. And the comedians there, they wanted to show us Kuwait. They were so excited. They love their country. They want to show us Kuwait. They showed us the towers. And they took us to a mall. Not a guy named a mall. Shopping mall. Not a guy named... There are a lot of guys named a mall, but actually a shopping mall, okay? So I wanted to clarify that. So they took us to a mall, and it's the largest mall in the Middle East, in Kuwait City. They were so proud of it. But I don't think they understood that they were not going to impress an American with their mall. Like, we invented shopping malls. It doesn't matter how big it is, you're not going to impress us, right? So this year, those same comedians are coming over here, and I'm going to take them to Death Valley. Because I feel like it's the only equivalent. Like, they're going to fly 15 hours, they're going to land in Los Angeles, I'm going to be like, look, we have heat, we have sand, welcome to America. Have a great time, knock yourselves out. Now, in LA, a lot of the Indians actually people I think are Indians are really Persian. We have a lot of Persians in LA. And it's funny because they love to call themselves Persian, and I don't think they've looked at a map after 1935. Like, there is no Persia anymore. You know what I mean? They can call themselves Iranians at this point. You know, you don't meet some guy from Iraq who says he's Mesopotamian. You know what I mean? Like, it's done. It's over. You can evolve with the time. You don't meet some Mexican guy like, I'm Aztec, is it? No, you're not Aztec, all right? Or Mayan or Incan. It's done. It's fine. We can move on beyond that. But I don't know how we feel about immigration here in Texas. It's a big issue. Like, nationally, it's kind of gone away, but in Texas, California, Arizona, it's a big deal. But I feel like Americans tease Mexico, because we have a state called New Mexico on the border. Of course they're going to come over here. I would go to Pakistan if there was a place called New India. Like, that's not fair. You can't put something right on the border like that. That's totally crazy. Now, I was born in Ohio. My dad was born in what is now Pakistan. We're Punjabi, so he was born in, this is not a Punjabi convention, I know, because there's no alcohol. So I'm very aware of the fact that there's not a Punjabi convention. Now, Punjabis, as a lot of you know, are the soldiers of India. We're the soldiers, right? Unless you're like 5'6" and 100 pounds. Okay? Then you become a comedian, okay? I'm not going to defend the country from anybody. It's not going to happen at all. So, and by the way, I just got engaged to be married. Thank you very much. I'm actually going to marry a Gujarati girl who lives in Austin. I was just visiting her, and she's so we're going to be a Punjabi and Gujarati family. I used to work at Procter & Gamble, P&G, so it kind of actually works out really well. We're going to be a P&G family, which goes along really well, which is pretty great. I actually worked at Procter & Gamble for about 6 years before I resigned. Before I quit. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't important enough to resign. You know what I mean? Like, you have to be like a vice president or a general manager. Those people resign. At my level, you just quit. You know, like I'm not that important. Like, tomorrow if I get shot, you know, I'm not assassinated. I'm just dead. Like, really. I'm not like some really important guy or something. It doesn't really matter. So I worked there for years, and my manager was black. Well, he probably still is. I just haven't seen him in a while. That'd be so weird. Alvin, what happened? I got promoted. Screw you guys, that's hilarious. Okay, I don't care, that's funny. Now I can't believe that people in this day and age are still racist. That is so gay. I gotta figure out if I'm doing the jokes for the kids or the adults. I gotta make a decision here at some point. I gotta figure this out. So, but no, it's true. I can say that actually. I have nothing against gay men at all. They're very loyal, they always have your back. And, there it is. Okay. What about Donald Trump? I don't think he's gay. Yeah. I don't think no gay man would have a haircut like that. Seriously, the gay community would shun him. There's no way they would say he has no style. He's too gaudy. You know what I mean? There's no way. I don't think Donald Trump. You think this guy has a chance? You think he does? Yeah, I don't know. You guys think so? I don't know, man. I know he's gaining a lot of support though. Yeah. No. He has a chance to become gay, but not president. Yeah, I think that would go. You should tell him that. That would go over really well. I'm sure he would appreciate that. Gays don't shop at Macy's anyway, really. It's too low. Indians shop at Macy's. Okay? Indians love Macy's. Gay people, they're like at Nordstrom and stuff. Like, they're too top shelf, man. Especially in Dallas, man. You know, Dallas is a big... Well, here's why I can say that. I can make fun of gay people because I'm homophobic. No, because... Actually, my brother's gay, and that's actually true. And he's not Donald Trump, by the way. He's always been in the gay world, right? So people always want to know that. They're like, so when did you know your brother was gay? I'm like, when he told us. I don't know, like, how am I supposed to answer that? I didn't know. Like, I grew up in Ohio in the 1980s. There was no such thing as gay. Like, you couldn't throw a football. That was it. Like, you could just tell the kids who were gay because of that. And it was really crazy. Like, he told us a few years ago, he came out of the closet. Well, we're Indians, so he came out of the cupboard. He sat down with my parents. Remember, he sat down with my parents and he said, the reason I haven't brought a girl home for so many years is I'm gay. And the room got very tense and very awkward, kind of like it did just now. But it wasn't as hard as the conversation I had to have with my parents when I said the reason I haven't brought a girl home for so many years is I'm a loser. And so my parents, they suspected for a while and I came out of the loser closet, so that was good. But my brother, it's interesting because I have two brothers. I've met some of you at the meet and greet, and I was telling you, some of you, this. So I have two brothers. They're fraternal twins. Just can't really do a controlled test thing, they're fraternal. So I know the Indians are like, we can do tests, we're going to go to lab. Like, no, hold on, they're fraternal, that doesn't work. So they're not identical, they're fraternal twins, and they both live in New York City. Rakesh is gay, Vikas is straight. And as kids, we all got along really well. And Rakesh, you know, and Vikas and I, we had our toys. We wanted to include Rakesh, you know, because I had my Transformers, and Vikas had his G.I. Joes, and Rakesh had his Barbie dolls. And it was just weird, because it was hard to construct a battle scene with these three types of toys. You know, you're trying to be inclusive, but how do you do it? It was like Optimus Prime saving Barbie from like domestic violence Ken or something, you know? Like, it got very adult very quickly. There was no way to keep it like age 8 and under. It was just like, it got very serious, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think that Cobra Commander thought he was gonna end up in an easy bake oven at the end of the battle, you know what I mean? At least like My Little Pony could be cavalry. That was like good. That worked out for us or whatever, but I don't know, with the new Supreme Court ruling, which I think is great, I'm all for it. I don't know where you guys fall. Yeah, no, I'm not. I think it's about time. And it's funny because I remember, I feel like we're born accepting. I feel like we're born as accepting people, and then later we become unaccepting because people load us up with that stuff. But I remember being 9 years old and being at the lunch table. And I'm sitting with my friends, and I was eating pizza. And I remember saying to my friend, I was like, oh my gosh, I love pizza. And my friend, John, he said this to me, because of course we're in 3rd grade. What did everyone say when he said that? I was like, oh, I love pizza. And John goes, why don't you marry it? Right? That was the thing we said as 9-year-olds. I did that in 1985. I feel like in 2015, two men and 2 women could marry each other if we were ready to marry pizza in 1985. You know what I mean? I think that's totally fine if we're that open-minded back then. I would still marry pizza, honestly. I really would. I love my fiance, but pizza kind of accomplishes most of what I'm looking for. Really, it does. It really, honestly, for the single people out there, honestly, you feel me on this, honestly. Because pizza, I was looking for someone hot. Pizza's hot, right? That works out. She's not here right now. She's with Donald Trump. He's got some more money than I do, so that's good. Pizza's hot. Pizza's still good in the morning. Still respect yourself. That works out pretty well. Pizza can be vegetarian. I can take her to temple. That's pretty good. Pretty good. Pizza's from Italy. Has immigrant parents. My parents would be really happy with that. Pizza can feed a family of 4. Let's see. Pizza's been with me through thick and thin. That's good. Pizza's cheesy, like my jokes. So that kind of all works out. Yeah. I think you've noticed by this point, not all my jokes have punchlines. Okay, so like every joke is supposed to have a setup and a punchline, but not all my jokes have punchlines. But that's okay, right? Because you're such a good audience, you don't need the whole joke. You know what I mean? You can just do part of it. Because I feel there's actually a comedy club in Atlanta called The Punchline. And I've played there. I actually do very well at The Punchline. But I feel like I could really crush at a club called The Setup. You know what I mean? If all I had to do was just set up a joke and walk away, I would own that room. That would totally be my space. I would do great in there. You guys ever been to a 3D movie? Been to a 3D movie? Been like Gravity or one of those movies, right? You know how they give you the red and blue glasses at the beginning of the film? You ever do this thing in the middle of the movie where you take the glasses off your face just to see what the film looks like without your glasses on? Yeah, it's crazy. You ever drive along in your car and you look at the odometer and you notice it's like 9,992, then 93, 94, 95. You get all excited. You're like, I'm going to be in the car for another 5-6 miles. I'm going to see it turn 10,000 on this trip. It's going to happen. And maybe you go through a drive-through, you check your phone, you look down, it's like 10,004, and you're like, oh. Yeah. This is so stupid. Okay. You ever try to turn off a ceiling fan in your friend's house, but it's not labeled, so you don't know if you're making it go faster or turning it off, and you're kind of like, yeah, no, nobody does that. Okay, just 15 more. No, I'm kidding. Just one more. You ever take a girl out to a restaurant and you have to open the door for her, right? You want to be a gentleman, you open that door. Ashwin, help me out on this. You still do this for your wife? You do? Does he do it? Oh, wow, get the yes. Okay, her answer is really what matters. I mean, you can say whatever you want, but that's good. So now we know it's true. So you do this, like you open that first door for her, right? And then you're in that little room, and I know that door is for like ventilation purposes, but now she's in front of you. She gets to open that next door, the door that counts. The door that everybody sees, the door that makes you a dick because you never get the door for a lady. Yeah, that's really annoying. I hate that. So, what's hard about that joke is it's hard to go back to real jokes after that. You know what I mean? It's hard to like tell a full joke now. Sir, what do you do for a living? What do you do? Yeah. Okay, cool. So how many single people do we have here tonight? Okay. And how many married people do we have? Wait a second. Okay, I know there's way more married people than single people, but you can hear how like less enthusiastic they are. They're like so tired they can't even clap. That is not. You want all the kids to get married. You should be more like excited. You need to be salespeople for this thing. Otherwise, it's just not going to work. Okay, so that's not good. I got engaged in December, and so I met my fiance online. Okay, so I met her on OkCupid. Which, I don't know, have you heard of OkCupid? Is that a big thing here? Okay. The kids are like, no, I haven't. Okay, that's probably good that you have not heard of it since you're, 10? That's probably good. How old are you? 11. Oh, my bad. Sorry. I was like 1 year off. And she's like, how could you get it so wrong? Like, okay. All right, so in dark, I could tell. I should probably admit I can tell how old the kid is. So anyway, but anyways, you're 11. And so the OkCupid is this site. It's a dating site, okay? And so we were on Shadi.com, of course, as well. Shady.com really is how you pronounce that, I think, honestly. So I know Uncle Zanadi is like, Beta is Shadi. I'm like, you have not been on it, okay? So I'm telling you, it is definitely Shady.com. Was on that Shadi.com for a while, and it's funny because they have you fill out things that the American sites don't have you fill out, dating sites. And Shadi.com is not a dating site, for the record. It's a matrimonial site, right? Because there's no dating, okay? No dating. So they're just marriage sites, okay? There's no such thing. We don't like to acknowledge that. So it's not a dating site. So I was on Shadi, I was on eHarmony, I was on OkCupid and all these things. And on Shady.com is very interesting, but OkCupid is actually where we met. And she lives in Austin, and I've been in LA the whole time. We've been long distance the entire time. And we're going to get married in exactly a month. We're getting married in 4 weeks. And thank you, yeah. And yeah, we're going to get married in 4 weeks. And since we're doing it in Texas, it's going to be a Cowboys and Indians theme. And I'm not even making that up. That is totally true. We're totally doing that. And she's a pharmacist, and I'm a comedian. So our other theme is laughter is the best medicine, which kind of like basically wrote itself, which I thought was kind of good. So now, how long have you two been married? He left just now. I don't know where Ashwin just went. 1 year. So now, how did you guys meet? You met here? At KHNA? Dude. This is like, you guys are like the ultimate billboard for marriage. That's pretty good. You met at KHNA. Okay. I'm sorry. 8 years ago, and you got married a year ago. So maybe it's not that good of a billboard. Okay. Like you'll wait 7 years. You're like, okay, we're gonna walk 7 times around the fire. We'll just wait 7 years to get married. We'll just wait on this. Okay, that's great. Okay, cool. Awesome. So, and then what did you guys become friends first, or what? How did you guys? Yes. You remember the days of being friend-zoned. Friend-zoned, that's not a word. Friend-zoned. I went to U.S. public school too, so alright, cool. Friend-zoned. Alright. And then how did you finally break through? Because, I mean, she's clearly out of your league, so how did you, clearly, you gave a lot of hope to the guys in the audience. They're like, well, if he got her, then this is really good, so what was the move, man? So you're in Chicago and where were you? Oh, New York. So how did you? It's long distance. How did you make the move, man? Like, so you guys met 8 years ago, KHNA. Okay. You got her MySpace information 8 years ago? I don't even remember what was popping 8 years ago. Still phone. Okay, so you got her number, got her digits. Did you have like a move? Oh! You called him first. Now, did he get your number or you got his number? He threw his phone at you, like not to injure you, but like tossed it at you. Threw the phone at me is like very, like Chris Brown. You gotta be careful. That's like crazy. So it's like, yeah, like, well, he is brown, but I mean, it's a different kind of brown. So, but okay, so, and then you just put your digits in. Okay. That was my move, man. That was like, that's good. That's a good, what I would always do, I'd hand my phone to a girl. I wouldn't throw it at her, but I would hand my phone to her. Like, oh, let me get your info. And if she gave me her email, she wanted to be my friend. She gave me her number. She wanted to, we gotta keep it clean. She wanted to, GDFR, so. Yeah, so that's that. And then, so then how did it go after that? You called him and then you guys were friends and But what was the moment where you actually like penetrated the membrane? Like, how did you get through? Metaphorically, keep it clean. Keep it clean. How did you make it out of the friend zone into the fire? It's just that people always say that. Magical. Kismet. Kismet. It was meant to be. All right. And now you've got this person sitting in the middle of you. Who is this guy who's sitting between you? It's so random. Like, you guys are deeply in love, and there's like this, like, fellow, like, midget sitting between you. Honestly, like, I can say that because I'm like 5'6", so I totally get it. That's hilarious. You still at least have your hair, man. It's like, I do the joke about Indians are hairy, and uncles come up, you're not hitty, huh? Like, okay, yeah, I get it. All right, that's funny. Good one. So seriously, I just have these two caterpillars I keep above my eyes. That's like the only hair I have. So, who are you? Just a friend of the, what is this, referee, or like, who is this person? Like, are you like a chaperone? Like, Uncle Johnny's like put you between, so nothing, no funny business or anything? You're what? You keep them in check. I like that. Okay, that's good. That's your role. Okay, cool. Cool. And did anyone else meet at a KHNA event? Do we have any other couples from this? They're shy. I know. No one else? You're the only? Did you guys know you're the only ones? Where are those other people? Are they here? Do you want to out them? Oh, Palai. Yeah, one of the 18 Palais I've met on this, with lots of Palais, like a pile of Palais. Yeah, Palai. Like my fiance. She prescribes other pills, they're not pills. But they're very close, very similar. So where did they go? Did they disappear or where did they go? We can't help them. They're hiding. Their chaperone left and then they went to the back. They're like, nice, good. What's going to happen to me in 1 month? You know how today is Independence Day? I lose my independence. So it is the opposite. This is good. We should just do questions. I feel like I'm doing all the talking. Why don't you ask me some questions? This is good. Do I know what I'm getting into? I've been there before. We probably shouldn't have, but yeah. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I think so. But how long have you been married? 26 days? 26 years! You're still paying for it. I love it. Spoken like a true Gujarati. I love that. Okay, that's awesome. Gotta earn back your Kerala status. Okay, where is your wife? That's very existential. She's hidden. She'll keep hiding if you keep talking like that. She's gonna hide. I know, seriously. What Romeo over here? She's somewhere. She's gonna beat me up. That's very good. I like that. That's awesome. Where? But okay, she doesn't want to blame you right now. Okay, that's fair. Do you have any kids here? Okay. Oh wait, is she there? Oh, there she is. Very nice. Way in the back, so she can keep an eye on you. That's good. It's like the kids didn't know where to sit. They're like, should we sit in the back, where they can't hear us laughing at those jokes, or like sit in front? Everybody is worried about, how come you knew that joke? What did that mean? They're gonna like explain what did that mean to them. That's scary. But you have two boys, and where do they live? Chicago. What do they do?
One of them is a sophomore.
A sophomore?
Another one has just broken his leg and
He broke his leg?
he had surgery and he's in my home in Texas.
Oh. So he broke his leg in Chicago, and then he flew home to Texas. You paid for the surgery. Here in Texas. Indian parents will do anything to get their kids home. Honestly. Like anything. Like you won't pay for the surgery in Chicago, but you'll pay for it here.
Indian kids will do anything to make their parents pay for it.
That's true. That's true. Kids will do anything to come home. That's very true. We need that food. We need that laundry. That's really important. Oh, we need you too also. Yeah, we'd like to come home. That's true. No, that's true, because I remember, like, when I was home for the Christmas holidays, I was out with my friend John, same guy from the elementary school. We're still really good friends. And we're going out over Christmas. And my parents like, call us when you're out, call us. You know, Indian parents always want you to call them, right? We didn't really have a curfew, they just wanted to know where we were. Okay, so like, call us. And I was like, well, I don't call you, like, when I'm out on campus, you know. John said the same thing to his parents. He's like, I'm not going to call you. Like, you don't know where I am at 5 in the morning on campus. And his dad is like, oh, that's a good point. Like, go out, you know. I tried the same thing with my dad. He's like, okay, next semester, move back home. So it doesn't work the same way, honestly. Like, the logic sort of breaks down. It doesn't really work out. So has anyone been married longer than 26 years? Oh, right here, sitting in the front row. 50 years? Wow, 50 years. That is amazing. So, let me guess. You've been married 26 years, and your wife is like halfway back. 50 years, so your wife is like way in the back. She's like operating the lights, I think. She's actually keep playing with the lights to keep an eye on you, I think. That's why she's like, what is she doing? Where's your wife? You don't know. This is why it works. This is very good. I like this. Okay. Right over here? Oh, she's closer. Okay, she's right here. The wives are keeping an eye on the husbands. I get this now. I get the setup. All right, cool. I love how there's a chair next to him to an empty chair. But you'd rather sit next to an empty chair than have your wife sit up here. That's nice. That's really sweet of you. What a kind man. That's awesome. She doesn't want to sit near you. Jim Kaminsky? I know Jimmy Kimmel. Kaminsky, okay. I don't know. Stage. Roar like a lion? You roared like a lion, and 2,000 people cheered you. Yeah, they'll be upset that you like took one of our animals and appropriated it for your own personal gain. That's essentially what happened. That's really wow. Yeah, anybody can get famous in this country by doing that. You should put it on YouTube. You would have been YouTubes. I'm telling you, you should have. That's crazy. Lions. My mom, just for what it's worth, doesn't believe in dinosaurs. This is crazy. I don't even know why I'm telling you this. I don't really even have a joke. It's just crazy. Like, she doesn't believe, like, I went to go see Jurassic World, which, by the way, is awesome. It's really good. Really good movie. Yeah, awesome. I remember in, like, 93 when the first one came out. I'm that old, okay? So I just remember that. It's really good. And then Lost World, like, broke all those records, but it wasn't very good. This new one is really awesome. But she doesn't believe in dinosaurs, which is really odd. Like, I'm like, why don't you believe in dinosaurs, Mom? And she goes, they're just too big. And that's her whole rationale. She's like, I'm like, no, but there's like fossils and we have like whole skeletons of them. She just thinks it's a big conspiracy. Like, it's a big conspiracy. I'm like, but whom? Like, by whom? And she's like, these museums, you know? And I'm like, but the museums, like, what's happening? What's the conspiracy? They're just making money, you know? And I'm like, they're free. The museums are free. I don't understand how they're making it. It makes no sense whatsoever. Like, she's just, it's so crazy that she doesn't believe in dinosaurs. It's so odd. And I told her, like, she saw me do that. I told her in Cincinnati, she was in the audience, and then after the show, my mom comes up to me and she's like, can you please stop telling everybody that I don't believe in dinosaurs? I was like, Mom, could you then please start believing in dinosaurs? Like, I don't really know what to say to that. That's totally insane. I just want to tell you that. That's so funny. Now, there's more people here than I expected, right? We were thinking it would be kind of small, but like, has anyone here ever gone to dinner by yourself? Anyone gone to dinner by yourself? By yourself? Yeah? Like, not on a business trip when you had an account and we're Indians so we want to spend it. Like, not that kind of thing. Like, no, but like, actually went to dinner in your hometown by yourself. Like a not Chipotle, but like a sit-down place. Okay. It's tough. I'm not secure enough to do that. I really admire people who can do that. I think it's amazing. But I have gone to the movies by myself. And it's awesome. If you ever gone to movies by yourself, it's really actually fun. You sound like a loser, but really, it is actually pretty awesome. And so I told my friend this, and he was like really jealous. my friend Alok, the ophthalmologist, and he was really jealous. He's like, well, I want to go to the movies by myself, you know? And so he goes in a theater about this large. He sits down and nobody's in the theater. No one. So he's really going to the movies by himself. Like, no one is there. And now I'm upset. I'm like, he's going to trump me. But then, as the coming attractions are on, as the previews are on, some guy, I'm not making this up, came in the theater and sat down right next to him. Why would you do that? It's like when you go to Costco and you're the only car and somebody parks right next to you. Like, why are you doing that? Like, it makes no sense whatsoever. It's so dumb. You know, the sad thing about human trafficking is, it's a nice segue. You know, is that it happens, okay? Let me explain that. The point is that my fiance and I have been long distance the whole time. She's in Austin, I'm in Los Angeles. So at the end of every trip, we always hug each other, and we have that conversation that long distance couples do, that you guys probably did too in New York or Chicago. You're like, oh, I just want to put you in a little box and take you with me. That happens. It's called human trafficking, but they don't get the little speech. That's what's sad about it. That joke is for 4 people. That's fine. That's not all the jokes will be winners. Before I get out of here, I do want to say this. That actually, and this maybe kind of illustrates it a little bit. We all have a number on a scale from 1 to 10. So when you're out there dating, you will learn what your number is, okay? You don't get to choose your number. Society kind of like assigns it to you, and you learn it kind of painfully sometimes when you're out there. And I'm a 6, and I know that. And she's looking at me, she's laughing, she's like, dude, you're a 4. But honestly, but the rule is, I'm Indian, so I came up with a formula, okay? The rule is, you can only date and be happy with somebody who's up or down 1 digit from you on the scale. Okay, so if I'm a 6, I should only be able to date and marry a 5, 6, or 7. But I'm going to marry a 10. People are like, oh, how is that possible? What about your rule? Ladies, you are what you are. If you're a 9, you're a 9, you're beautiful. But you can't go up or down on the scale, okay? Now, fellas can go up on the scale if we're funny and we have money. Okay? There's a little bit of a loophole for men in this chauvinistic society, okay? So I'm a 6 for looks. And I'm funny on most nights, so I become a 7. And I got some money in the bank, so I become an 8, and that's how I've dated, and I'm going to marry a 10, okay? And I know some of you were laughing, other of you were like, well, wait a second, that's still 2 numbers apart. What you do is you meet a 10, and you break her self-esteem down so she thinks she's a 9. We actually met on OkCupid, like I'm saying, and for our first date, I looked her up. That's what you have to do in 2015. Like, I Googled her, and I told her that. We sat down for our first date at Whole Foods, and I thought it was a donut shop. And we sit down, and I told her, I'm like, I Googled you, I looked you up on LinkedIn and Facebook and all these places, you know, Twitter. I couldn't find you anywhere. And she goes, that's so creepy. I can't believe you just admitted that you stalked me online. I go, no, you're creepy. I couldn't find you online. Don't put that on me. This is 2015. What are you talking about? Like, that's totally crazy. I'm just sneaking. You're hiding. You're the creepy one, okay? This is 2015, which, by the way, did not feel any different from 2014 until, like, last month. You know what I mean? I don't know how many of you remember the movie Back to the Future. Okay? Back to the Future was a movie that came out in the 80s, and 1985 was the present. 1955 was the past. And 2015 was the future. Alright? So when it turned 2015, a lot of us were super disappointed, right? Because there's like no jetpacks, no flying cars, none of that stuff, no time travel. But January looked exactly like December until June came around, and everything in 2015 was different, right? You have Rachel Dolezal, who's white, but she's black. But she's really white. And then you have Caitlyn Jenner, who, right? Like, there's no Bruce Jenner anymore. Like, just gone. Like, it's another way for deadbeat dads to get out of pain. They could just leave the earth without disappearing. It's crazy. Like, Caitlyn Jenner is a man, but is a woman. And then now, like, cops are good, but they're bad, but they're good. And then there was that dress that clearly was white and gold. But somebody wanted to call it black and blue. I don't know what anything is anymore, man. And I don't know if you watch those Rachel Dolezal interviews. They're so weird. She's telling her story. She's like, well, I was white. I identify as black. well, dude, I'm Indian, I identify as Californian, but that doesn't mean anything, okay? And she's telling like how her parents were white, and they're giving interviews saying they adopted 4 black kids. And then Rachel Dolezal marries a black guy and has a mixed child. Suddenly, like, Game of Thrones is not that confusing anymore, right? Like, I get the character, like, family tree. It's making more sense now. It's totally crazy. So, I met Hershaw on OkCupid, not on Shaadi.com. I did want to be very clear about that. But the quality on Shaadi, it's gone up. It's good. It's like, there's a lot. It's mostly brown women. It's mostly Indian women. But every now and then you find a white girl on there. And it's weird. It's like, is she lost? Like, what happened? Like, what is she doing here? But it's kind of refreshing. It's like finding an onion ring in your french fries. You're like, I don't mind if I do. You guys have been a lot of fun. Thank you so much, guys.
Let us give a round of applause. The coolest Desi. Thank you, Rani Satya. Really, really appreciate you coming to KHNA. Thank you so much.
Hang tight to your seats. We are going to continue the show here with a lot of cultural programs. And why don't we give them a standing ovation and one more round of applause for the show here. Thank you. It was a great show here. Thank you. Hang tight to your seats. We'll begin shortly. Thank you.
Have the public meeting with the prize distribution for the kids. So please encourage the kids, those who are won in several competitions. So please be seated and please encourage the kids. And then we'll have a fabulous show of local talents from different states. It's a continued show up to 11, 12 o'clock. So please encourage the artists. They have prepared a lot of things for several months for this show. So I request all the people to be seated and there will be a break for the dinner. Thank you. Just wait for further announcements.